brother. Stand by. Hey, everybody. My next guest is a singer, songwriter, and host of On Air with Nick Driver, the Nick Driver podcast. He's also entering his third season of Nick's Kicks, where he gets his brand new shoes for kids in need with the Zebulon, Wilson, and Knightdale areas. Here he is, the one and only Nick Driver. Nick, what's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Good, man. Good. Dude, it is a great time to be alive, huh?
It's good. It's good. A lot of things going on, man.
Dude, so much going on every single day. There's new stuff going on, but we are now in the cusps of true history. Last week was the election. Trump wins in a landslide. Today, this will be airing in a couple of days on Friday, but today's Wednesday, and Trump just visited the White House with for the transition, to begin the transition with Biden. Dude, we are in some crazy times, man.
Yeah. You know, that transition meeting had to be weird. You know, it's got to be weird sitting beside somebody that calls you a Nazi and your voter's garbage, man.
Dude, and also somebody who, may or may not have stolen the election in the first place. And,
yeah.
And
have you seen the outlier? Have you seen the outlier graph to where how many votes in relation to the previous elections?
Dude, I think this election proved that the last election, even more so, was something's up.
Questionable.
Where are all those millions of people? Where they all disappear to? Right. And so there's just so much question marks going on, but and it almost feels now, we've been through it the last 4 years. We see what they're capable of. We've seen the deception, and they've been exposed. We've seen how they roll. It seems a little too easy right now, where they're like, hey, we're going to do this real nice and easy.
Nah,
I don't know. I'm worried.
They're not doing it nice and easy, man. They're not doing it nice and easy. I saw where there's some reports coming out on Ground News. I don't know if you pay much attention to Ground News, but Ground News, it's a great app that I use for my podcast too, man. They actually show you the news article. So it'll pop up like the topic, and it'll show you which sides that it's covering it. Like if it's being covered by left media sources, center, or right media sources.
Oh, wow.
And they also have these things, blind spots, where like just the right cover stuff and just the left cover stuff. I mean, I think it's a pretty helpful tool, man,
Yeah, I think that's pretty awesome. Ground News, I'm going to check that out. So you're saying that Ground News will give you the news, but also let you know it's reported on the left or the right side. This way you kind of know where you're getting it from.
I think you would love it. Like me and you were like podcasters, man. We're making it happen. We're kind of like, and it's a good tool to have to see what both sides are saying.
Yes, indeed, man.
And if Ground News sees this podcast, hey, they should get Don and Nick.
Yeah, man. Let's get it happening, man.
Get that sponsors, man.
Now, I think too, no matter what side of the fence you're on, if you are a normal thinking person, right, and you could see, and you could kind of take a look and step back and see what happened here. What a story this was when you look at all the stuff Trump's been through, from the impeachments to the mugshot to the raids to the lawfare, the court battles, personal attacks, name calling, assassination attempts. All these things they tried to do, one extreme or another, to keep this guy out and keep him down. And now, overwhelmingly, the country has spoken to the point we haven't seen before. I mean, maybe since the Reagan era, which was a similar time with Carter and stuff. But the people have spoken, and what an incredible, amazing, triumphant story it is. And I don't care what side you're on, you have to admit that.
Trump won and you know it.
Natasha Owens, Nick Natoli, Trump won.
Trump won and you know it. Trump won and you know it. America has voted. It's true. Trump
Absolutely, man. And you know, there was a moment in time, maybe a couple people, well, not a couple people, a lot of people probably remember it, like me and you that watched it unfold. And there was a moment there where like Trump, he's like he was down for the count, man. You know, a couple years back, and I mean, they had done so much slandering, and you know, it just felt like a lot of people on the right as well was turning on him. You know, and you know, Trump. You know, I think to be completely honest with you, I think we have. I think we have CNN and MSNBC, and we have you know, all these people that called him a Nazi, and we have the DOJ. I think me and you should take a moment in silence and say, hey, thank you guys, because without you guys, we wouldn't have got the W. So
It's
you know,
true.
if they'd have left him alone, bro. But
Dude,
you can wake up a sleeping giant, man. So
amen to that, brother. Because here's what I think. I think that this last 4 years, as painful as it was for some of us, I think that it was needed and mandatory because it exposed all of those hypocrisy, all the lies. It exposed the agenda. It exposed the media, the mainstream media. It exposed the politicians. It exposed their dirty ethics and their dirty ways. Every time they tried to take him out, it just exposed them more and more for who they really were. So everything they did to hurt him did the opposite. So I think let's just say Trump would have won the second term, right? I don't think his second term would have been as successful as this one is going to be now.
I agree.
Because now he's got the world behind him. He's got the country behind him more than ever.
I agree. I agree. And also it looks like he's going to have the House on his side too, and the Senate and everybody. So I mean, you know.
Well, thank you very much. This is a very nice gathering. Isn't it nice to win? It's nice to win. It's always nice to win. A lot of good friends in this room. So you know we had like historic kind of numbers, especially for the president, but we won't get into that.
So it's really a great moment in time. And you know, and of course I try to be the crazy thing is I've tried to be really nice to my friends that are liberal friends.
Yeah.
Man, they ain't having it, bro. And I'm like, I had one friend actually text me this really long message and be like, well, no, I'm not having this friendship anymore because I feel like you were disrespectful when you told me that I drank the Kool-Aid.
Oh my God.
Okay, first off, I said that when we were on a panel and there was 3 people attacking me. Okay, okay, like, dude.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you want me to do? Just sit there and be like, you know, and you know, the crazy thing is they actually pulled when he won that channel I went on.
Yeah.
They pulled a bunch of their podcasts off because they were talking all this trash, bro. And I hit her up. I was like, well, where's that podcast at? She was like, F you, Nick. Yeah, I was like, dude, you know, if you're gonna say it, live or die by your words, man. You know, you can always go back and say, hey, I was wrong, man.
I tell you, when it went down and when we lose, you know, we being the you know, conservatives or the right wing Republicans, what have you, the other side, who's the unwoke.
Yeah.
I think when we lose, it's, you know, it's not nearly as harsh as when they lose. I mean, they've taken, and I also feel like this time around too, like they all cried in 2016, you know, the famous
for the first time ever anywhere
and all that.
That's an amazing video. That's one of my favorite videos on the internet.
I know, I love it. But now their cries aren't they're not viewed the same way anymore. They're more mocked now. Back then it was like people would have compassion, empathize to it. Now they're being mocked. And now, because now we've turned the page, the country has moved on. Because like I said, I think we needed that 4 years to show the craziness. Hey, this is what you guys want. All right, let's try it out.
Right.
And then you'll see what we've been telling you. And now everybody's like, oh, yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that I'm looking forward to in this upcoming administration. But the crazy thing to me is, and I'm flipping around on CNN, I'm watching some stuff, and I'm flipping around to all of them. I'm sure you do the same thing I do. You kind of like looking at everything to try to get, you have to, I think the way that these certain individuals get to a point where they are screaming and yelling, running into walls at this point, like, because Trump won, it's like they actually believe these things that people like Joy Reid say. They actually believe these things like that The View says, because, and there's a part of me that feels bad for them. But I mean, not the whole part of me, but there's a small part of me that feels bad for them. Because I mean, I understand why they're acting like that. Because if I believe somebody was a Nazi or they're going to deport me from the country or something like that, I might react like that. But I wouldn't, because I would be like, yeah, I'm probably not going to engage in this so I don't draw attention to myself. If this person if this person is going to come get me, I'm not drawing attention to it. Yeah.
This is a message to anyone who follows me. If you voted for Trump, unfollow me and block me. If you didn't vote, unfollow me and block me. The fact that it's this close means I've lost all hope in the American people. Like, it should not be this close. Why would anyone vote for this person? He's so evil.
No, that's a great point. I think that's, if you're brainwashed and you truly believe that that Trump is the boogeyman and he's coming for your kids and he's coming for your grandma, your Abuelita and all that stuff, and she's gonna, he's the boogeyman, I'd be scared shitless too.
Yeah.
But that's just because those people are locked in to this this one talking point that is relentless, and that's why we're going to see the Joy Reids and start getting fired, and they're going to be going away because they're so evil and bad for the country and
Culture's
decisive.
changing.
Yeah. So the culture is changing, and we're going to turn back because there is a lot of fear tactics on their side, and that's the thing too, where a lot of people are saying is like, oh, yesterday Kamala Harris was saying he's Hitler, but today she said, oh, don't worry, everybody, everything's going to be fine.
Do you really believe somebody's Hitler if you're like, we're going to have a peaceful transfer of power?
Here we are, right?
Thank you. Donald, congratulations. Thank you. And looking forward to having like we said, smooth transition. Do everything we can to make sure you're accommodated, what you need. And we're going to get a chance to talk about some of that today. So,
exactly.
And I mean, I think that's something anybody, like we were talking about, anybody that's a logical thinking person that's outside of the spectrum of, I believe this because it's a right thought, I believe this because it's a left thought. Joe Biden and him sat down today and talked.
Yeah,
they shook hands. They do not believe Donald Trump's a Nazi. They do not believe he is a fascist. Politics is a dirty game.
Yep.
They don't believe that crap. Just like they don't believe half the crap that they stand for.
And it was proven.
Yep.
Turn that off. This thing was making noise in the background.
Yeah, that's all good.
No, yeah, they obviously don't believe that. Like you said, Biden pretty much welcomed them with open arms. Plus, I mean, did you see Jill Biden go to the polls wearing all red? I mean,
yeah, that was funny.
So
was she trolling right there?
Yeah, I think she voted for Trump. I think her and Biden both voted for Trump, and I think
man, I think they wrote in Joe Biden.
yeah, that's probably more. That's probably more like it. I can't see them like, especially Jill voting for Trump on any circumstance, unless it's really my enemy's enemy is my friend type of shit.
Yeah.
But I think that Jill Biden is a mean woman and vindictive. And I think that she never got past Kamala calling Biden a racist all the way back in 2020 when they were, in the debates.
there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me.
Well, if you make something like calling somebody a racist part of your identity and your quote unquote unspoken, like religion, almost your political religion,
Right.
and then somebody says that to your husband, yo, man, you're gonna take that personal, bro.
Yeah.
And this is me, like, just being 100. Women hold grudges a lot different than men hold grudges.
That's true, man.
I've been in fist fights with dudes that I can hang out with now, and I've like broke up with girls because I thought we shouldn't be together because it's just not right. And they still hate me. I know nothing bad happened. It's just like, yo, I'm going to get him one day. What are you going to get me for? Like, clearly I made the right decision. Clearly I made the right decision getting away from you. Holy crap.
Oh, shit. No, that's so true, man, because you can see it. Like, even with like, so Melania, like, again, to your point, Melania refused to go to the White House because she's still mad at Jill Biden. And just cause. It's, I don't blame her. But on the flip side, Trump and Biden are sitting down shaking hands like old buddies. They probably, cracking beers open. They're going to go play golf later. Like, all of a sudden, they're best friends. So, like, there is
They're
a
different
difference.
animals, man.
Yeah, different animals, how they can get along and kind of forgive. And look, man, I think Biden, through this, we know he was done dirty by his own party.
He was.
I think he stepped on Kamala's toes deliberately a few occasions. I think he knew what he was doing, and I think that shows you how much he knows how to play the game. He knows how to play chess. Even
he's a chess player, bro.
Dude, even in his dementia state, he still knows how to play the game and work the board.
He actually looked better today from the clips I saw than he's looked in a while. And, I don't hate anybody. I don't like their policies. And that's very difficult to explain to people that are on the left because it's crazy to me how extreme some of it's gotten.
Yeah,
like, okay, the abortion situation, for example. That's something that is very difficult in general. So it's kind of weird for me to see people like promoting it, like being out on the streets, like, abortion, blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, first off, let's scale back a minute. Okay. This is a situation where it's very, and I have a lot of female friends that, I've talked to throughout my years. Abortion's very hard for them.
Yeah.
Most people ain't gonna go out there and be like, I don't want to get me and you in trouble here, but you see where I'm going.
Yeah, it's they make it sound like it's an afterthought. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to the movies, and after that, I'm gonna go get an abortion, then I'm gonna go out to dinner. It's not that. It's a very tough decision for, I would say, 99.9% of the women who have to go through that, and the couples have to go through that, and that's a really hard decision. And and I think the way they celebrate it is kind of could be a turnoff to some people.
I think what you just said was very eloquent and way better than I would have said it. So I mean, we'll go with that because I'm like, man, that was actually very beautifully put. Abortion's hard. The thing is you can politicize anything. And what the left has done over the years is politicize the idea of, if you don't vote for us, then you won't have bodily autonomy. Like,
right.
you won't have control of it. But then they do the same thing. They contradict themselves because, as we know, during the jab session we all went through years back.
Oh God, yeah.
Yo, they wanted everybody to get shots, bro. So it's your body, your choice when it applies to you, but it's my body, your choice. And they'll be like, yes, You're like, okay, bro.
Exactly, man.
I appreciate your honesty, but you look like a psycho right now. If you're sleeping in a house and you got a roommate like this, you keep one eye open, bro.
No, it's true, man. Like we've gone through a lot, and that whole vaccine push was crazy. And now you look today, people in the hospitals that need blood transfusions are rejecting that they don't want vax blood, they want pure blood.
Right.
And so the people who didn't get vaxxed and are still with us, which is the majority.
Oh wow.
Kudos. Well, the majority
So
of
they
people,
want. So this is awesome. See, I learn something every time I come on with you, man. That's why I love this. So some people actually want blood that's not been. I guess they feel tainted by the C-19.
Yeah. So like,
wow, that's crazy. Yeah, tell me about this.
yeah. So like, if you're in a hospital and you need blood, people are refusing. They say, I only want clean blood.
Those skeptical of the COVID-19 vaccine have new concerns, this time when it comes to blood transfusions. People have been declining medically advised transfusions and asking for blood only from the unvaccinated.
So I think it's only going to be a matter of time before if it's not already a thing, that vaccinated blood is not going to be wanted. Like it's like if you have AIDS or something that you can't give blood. You have like a blood-borne disease. Yeah. So I think that's what's going to happen. People want clean blood. So because the other blood, it clots up. There's a lot of problems that vaccine doesn't work with everybody, and it was never, there's just been a million problems associated with that. And it's another thing the media held back from us was those statistics. They were quick to let us know every time someone died of the flu, but they won't let us know when you're dying of the vaccine. So it's and then you look back all the Fauci stuff, and that's why I'm so glad that RFK is in power now too, because RFK is going after not only the food industry but also the pharmaceutical industry.
And overdue, man. It's overdue.
Fauci is. I hope because he's older. I hope he lives to pay the piper and doesn't die a free man. Because that guy did us all wrong.
Well, people almost like worship this guy.
At one point, yeah, man.
And there was a CNN doctor named Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
Yes.
This guy, he's on CNN's payroll. And once you see this stuff, you can't unsee it. Okay?
Exactly, man.
I mean, he's got to be on CNN's payroll. Because he's like this. Well, he's saying all these different things. And he went on a Joe Rogan podcast, man.
Joe Rogan spanked him on that thing.
Bro, did you see that?
Yeah, dude.
Spanked
him. Spanked him on that
Put him over his knee.
But the point is, that's a lie.
It can be used for humans. I get it. I totally.
Not just could be used for humans, is often used for humans along with all the other drugs I took. All human drugs.
Yes,
they know it's a human drug.
It's right, but
they lied.
The thing,
it's defamatory.
That guy completely underestimated Joe Rogan. Thought he was just going to go in there and just talk his way out of it. Joe Rogan.
He watched zero Joe Rogan podcasts before he went on.
Exactly, man.
You got to know what you're going on, man.
Dude, that was a beautiful thing. That was a great moment, and that was and that's the stuff that built up to where we are now. It was little by little exposing these people. They're liars. They're this. They're that. They're hypocrites. They're on the payroll. They're all those things have all built up, and we saw it big time during the COVID era, man. Big time.
Facts.
Yeah, man. But now, dude, we're starting to change back to normal almost overnight.
What are you excited about moving forward as far as a country? Looking at this for me is like, it's almost like you're not quite home, right? The feeling of it to me is like you've been in the woods all night. You got away from some wolves. You're like, got bit by a snake. Okay, like right. You're going through there. You're like, all right. And like right when you're like, oh my God, I'm not gonna, you get to the edge of the woods and the sun comes up, man.
Right,
And
right.
there's like houses and somebody pulls up to you like, yo, man, you okay? That's what this moment feels like to me.
That's perfectly said, dude. Because I feel like that too. I feel like the sun came out, and I feel like it feels like the spell has been broken, like a wicked
Right.
witch put a spell on us, and then all of a sudden, you kiss the frog or whatever, and all of a sudden, it all
Yeah.
comes back to normal again. And it almost happened instantly when you're seeing like Russia, Putin is contacting Trump. Hey, let's talk. Even
Yeah.
even the
Yeah, man. Yeah.
yeah, all this stuff. China, the same thing. The war with the Israelis
Yeah.
and all that is start.
Hamas and stuff. Yeah.
Hamas is like, hey man, let's talk about this.
People are like, we probably need to rethink this. And the reason they're like that is because Trump's no nonsense. And, I think that slogan is unity through strength.
Yeah,
If I'm
exactly.
not mistaken. I think that's a beautiful way of putting it. Most people don't want, okay, like if me and you were a tag team, WWE, okay, wrestling tag team,
Yeah.
and we ran into the Undertaker in his prime, we'd be like, yo, that's peace through strength. Me, we're going, me and Don, we're gonna roll out, bro. We're going, hey, peace through strength, bro. So
Exactly, dude.
but there's something to that, and there's something to the idea of, you can't be looked at as like a pushover, man. It's perfectly fine for people to be a-holes. Everybody's friend circle, you got to have at least one a-hole.
Right.
Because they're going to keep things solid. You might be like, man, he said some ish right there. But at the same time, you're like, well, he's not going to go along with everything we're doing. And that's Trump, man. And I do see a change in Trump after, the assassination attempts. I watch them every day, trying to expand my podcast stuff. I know you do the same thing as well.
Right.
I see a change in it, man.
I think he's more humble now.
Yeah.
I feel like he's definitely been more humbled. I think going through this whole entire process has humbled him. Obviously, the assassination gave him, I think, more of a purpose. I think he believes, and as many others do, that he was saved by God, and that this higher power needs him to continue on with this. And I think he understands his role in this thing. It's more than just bloviating and being the big man on campus. It's a lot bigger than that. And I think now he really has an understanding of that, and you can see it in his demeanor. He's not as harsh as he was. He's kinder. He feels, he's still Trump. He's still gonna be like, yo, oh, come on.
He's a comedian, bro.
Right. Yeah. But he does have
people thought Reagan was funny. No, bro. I think I mentioned this to you one time. Trump is the first like battle rapper we've ever had as a president.
Oh, yeah, man. He definitely takes people to task.
Nomination is a hoax. Your party is so pro-choice, they aborted a state's right to vote. Pencil pushing pussy bows, think you could scare me with prison? Get your mugshot and your mugshot, then come talk to me about convictions.
Yeah, bro.
He doesn't mess around. All his nicknames for people, all those types of things. He's still that guy, but he's definitely a kinder, gentler version of that guy.
He is. He put a text out. A couple of my podcasts recently, I've been looking at the different money that they spent on the Kamala Harris campaign. And I mean, I'm sure you've heard this by now, but they blew through $1 billion in 3 months, bro.
$1 billion.
Unbelievable.
They bought pretty much celebrity endorsements. Supposedly, it seems
they're still having there's articles out there, man. Now, I'm not 100% sure about this, but I've seen 2 or 3 of them pop up on pretty, legit sites to where they haven't paid all these celebrities the money they were owed. Yo, I can't wait to see what happens if that happens, bro. Yo, I can't wait.
Dude, I can't wait for now too. So okay, so we got.
Let me ask you a question. I'm sorry. Can I
No,
interrupt
go
you
ahead.
real quick?
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Okay, so Oprah Winfrey's company got $1 million for that. There was no money exchange between Joe Rogan and Trump.
Right, that's right.
There was no money exchange between Theo Vaughn and Trump.
Yep.
There was no money exchange between Theo Vaughn and Bernie Sanders. Okay.
Right.
When you take money from somebody, you're going to be biased on something. Don't you think so?
Dude, if she gave me $1 million, I'd be like, "Hey, so Kamala, how you
Yo,
doing?"
I'd be like this. Yo, I'd be like, Don, we made it, bro. And on top of that, Kamala Harris, oh my God,
Yeah,
we're going to
dude.
get you the president. Yo.
$1 million, I'll wear a Dudes for Kamala shirt.
That's right, bro.
I'd be like, "Hey, Kamala Harris, everybody."
I'll be in a wig over here with an army suit.
Ah, shit. Yeah, but she paid for endorsements allegedly, and because I'm still wondering where the money really went. Like it seems too easy. Because look, it doesn't cost $100,000 to build a set inside your hotel room for that Call Me Daddy show.
It does if you're paying the people to ask you questions you want to hear.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to be pandered to, you pay for that. If you want Beyonce to come and say how great you are, you pay for that. And it's just crazy that because if you're a donor, imagine you're a donor.
I'd be pissed, bro.
Oh, dude, and you give her like
take
your
the
life-saving-
take the politics out of it. I'd be pissed.
Yeah, man. If I gave her, let's just say, being a regular working class guy, but you really hate Trump and you'll do anything to get him out. So you give her you empty out your bank account, you give her $5,000 or whatever you have in there, and then you go, here you go.
Maybe you give them $100, which is still a
Right.
lot of money.
Yeah, it's still a lot of money. And then you see that she just gave that off to Oprah, or she just handed that off to Beyonce, or she just handed that off to the Daddy podcast. I'd be like, are you kidding me?
Right.
I would be so pissed off that they're the ones spending my money right now.
I'm not even from New York, but if they did that to me, I would develop a New York accent real quick. What, are you freaking kidding me? yo, bro.
That was great.
Yeah,
Hey,
that was
you
probably
over
the worst New York accent ever.
I love it.
But I'm gonna tell you something. That's how angry I would be, because that's total. No matter what side you're on, that's total disrespect on the people that are voting for you and the people that are opening their wallets to give you money. And you take that money, and what you really need to be doing is going, we need to figure out how to get voters on our side.
Yeah, exactly.
And you guys are doing stuff to where it's like, you know how we're gonna get guys to come in? They're really lacking. The Democrat Party got washed this year when it came to male voters.
Yes, of all race,
Yeah.
just men in general. Yeah.
And it's crazy. It's like, if you notice, they've kind of backed off the racist stuff just a hair bit. I mean, we're all still Nazis, right? But they've backed off of it because Black men, Hispanic men, Black women, Hispanic women, voted for Trump in record numbers. So, but then it's weird to watch them address it instead of going, oh, wow, maybe we shouldn't have called everybody a bunch of Hitlers. Maybe we shouldn't have called everybody Nazis and slave owners. And we should have been like focusing on what's going on in these people's lives.
Exactly.
But you know what? They ain't done that. I was watching CNN today, man. And they're like, we don't understand why people are thinking like this. They're clearly racist. Yeah, you're like, what are you doing?
They still haven't learned.
Yeah.
They haven't learned. They still pushing that agenda, even though it's so rejected. And that's why we're going to see CNN have major layoffs. We're going to see a lot of these people
It's
go.
happening.
MSNBC, the whole network, looks like it might be getting sold. So goodbye, Joy Reid. Goodbye, Morning Joe. Goodbye, all of those idiots over there that are race baiters. They're so evil. Al Sharpton, Joy Reid. We already got rid of Don Lemon. The View. We'll see if that gets dismantled. All these evil race pushers and just people that are just toxic and bad for the country and divisive. We need to unify now more than ever. And to your original point that you said about we want to unite, but our friends who are lefties keep resisting and saying no. And I had the same thing here because it almost feels like, I guess to some of them it feels like if I say, hey, let's shake on it, everything's cool. They think like it's condescending to them or whatever.
Yeah.
No, it's coming from a real place. We need, just like how Trump shook Biden's hand, and we have to do the same thing with the left. And the left has said a lot more mean things about us than we have said about them. They called us all kinds of names, dragged us through, especially if you're a white male, straight white male, you get dragged through the mud these days. And I'm not crying about it. I'm just stating facts.
Absolutely.
And we're ready to forgive and forget. Or not forget, but forgive and move on.
Yeah.
But they still can't.
Well, they can't do it because it's kind of like have you ever dated a woman that you're like, oh, this is a cool chick, right? And then like as time goes on, you're like, yo, she's a little woo. Okay, like
Yes.
I mean, we can all be a little crazy, you know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
But you're like, she's a little woo. I might have to get out of this relationship, And you're like, you're waiting, and the moment happens, and you're like, yo, I can exit stage left here. And it's totally her fault, right?
Right.
Totally her fault. But then you wake up next day, and like on the internet, there's a bunch of people like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. You're like, what are you talking about?
Right, exactly.
She blasted you for some shit never even happened.
Exactly.
Like you're like, oh my God. That is the Democrat media right now.
It's dude, it's so
Van
true.
Jones is my favorite person to watch right now. I've never seen such an emotional man in my whole life.
And so it's easy to blow this off. Oh, look at the elites. They're going to get their comeuppance. It's not the elite that's going to pay the price. It's people who woke up this morning with a dream and are going to bed with a nightmare.
Like, I'm going to tell you something. There's real things that make us as men cry. Parents dying, children dying. When you're in war, somebody gets shot, you have to deal with that the rest of your life. Losing your home. Maybe you're just emotionally off sometimes. Okay. The fact that Van can just get on, both of them. The fact that they can just get on TV and start crying. I'm like, yo, bro, that's why y'all lost. Nobody, no guy. Okay. Think about our jobs growing up. Okay. I got a question to ask you. 5 of your friends when you were growing up,
Right.
what was the jobs they held?
Growing up, like the kind of job. So yeah, we had jobs doing all sorts of things. I, worked in factories and things like that.
Batteries?
Yeah, trucks, delivering, truck drivers and delivering stuff, working on trucks and things along those lines, working in warehouses.
Okay. Physical jobs.
Yeah, physical, blue collar stuff, man, when I was growing up, for sure.
My family, tobacco farmers, right? So all my friends used to be like, I like being friends with Nick, but you got to work with him this summer. This is BS, And I mean, I can relate. That feels hard. But I'm like, okay. People that were mechanics were some of my best friends.
Yeah.
People that worked fast food.
Yeah.
I mean, I worked Dairy Queen for years so I could get out of the tobacco field.
Right.
So
yeah.
I was like, yo, I'm going to the coldest place I can. It's hot out there. So I would do stuff like, but people that are working, laying asphalt on highways.
Yeah, that's tough.
Okay,
That's
construction workers.
Yeah, that's real work. Yeah.
So it's like, it was almost like patronizing for the stuff Democrats were running for campaign stuff. And did you see the cringy one where the guy was like, I eat carburetors for breakfast? Did you see that one?
Yeah, yes, I did see that. Yeah, the whole dudes for Kamala thing, and then Tim Waltz and all that stuff was so ridiculous and almost insulting because it was like a parody of men. It was what they think men are supposed, like what we think men are. You know what I mean? Like a cartoon character of what a man is. And we could see right through it. If you're a real guy, you look at that, you're like, this is ridiculous. What
Facts.
the? Yeah,
Facts. Yep.
yeah. So like, yeah, I think they were so out of touch with every aspect of it. They didn't know what a woman was. They didn't know what a man was. They don't know what anything is. And then they're trying to appeal to us in the 11th hour, and it's just too late. You guys have run it into the ground.
You spent 4 to 6 years calling us toxic. And now you want our vote? I tell you what, here's a big middle finger. And the middle finger's name is Donald Trump. And skeet, skeet.
Dude, he won. The whole thing for the last few years, everybody was saying it's got to be too big to rig. And that's exactly what it was. It was undeniable, amazing turnout. I mean, every single state was red. The only blue is really in cities. And and some of the cities just override, like in New York here, for instance, the electoral votes are just all pretty much whatever the city kind of dictates. But even in the city, the numbers are going down.
He had some big gains in New Jersey.
Yeah, New Jersey. So all of these kind of Democratic blue states are either have flipped red completely or have really closed the gap. And it's the opposite of what they thought was going to happen when they started with the, letting in the migrants. And that's another thing that backfired on them, letting in all these migrants and all this other stuff. Really, I think that's where they lost a lot of the black vote.
I think they lost the black vote when not particularly when they let people in, but when people started finding out they were giving them food cards and stuff like that.
Right. All of them.
And I'm 100% down with, we need to take care of all Americans. But I would say this, man. Trump was also like, I had a girl get on one of my posts, and me, I'd be jawing at people, man. So I'm like, so I was like, she was like, yeah, well, we got another old white guy in here that don't care about minorities or black people. And I said, whoa, 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 whoa. So I said, Trump actually passed to where HBCUs have so much money now. I saw this podcast where he was like, they kept coming up he said the first time I was in office, they kept coming up every couple months. He was like, why do he was like, I love seeing you guys, but why do you have to? He was like, well, they limit the money we get. He said, well, let's fix that. And he put so much money in there. He told him, he said, I'm actually going to miss seeing you guys because I see you so much. He put money into historically black universities.
Yeah, man.
So that if he's a racist, terrible racist.
Terrible racist and a terrible misogynist too.
But the thing is Obama didn't do that.
Nope.
But Biden didn't do that.
That's another
Clinton
thing.
Didn't do that. Bush didn't do that.
People don't realize that, number one, like Trump has done more for the black community than any other president. And then another thing they don't realize he is as far as Republicans go, he's the most liberal Republican that has ever been in office as president, ever. And you would think that would satisfy both sides. They'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, he's more liberal than any other, so he'll bend. He's not as strict as like your conservatives. You know what I mean? He's super ultra right. He's more in the middle, but they still push back and they hate him so much because he's been branded as the boogeyman, as Hitler, as all these things. And
Trump, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no, it's all good. I just think that the difference between his first 4 years and this 4 years are going to be drastically different. I think the headhunters, the Schiffs of the world, and all those types, the Pelosi's, they lost a lot of their power. Now that they have no House of Representatives, they have no Senate. It's all controlled. Plus, the country has spoken so loudly that they kind of lost their. There's a saying we say in the sports world is when you lose the locker room. So, like when they don't listen to you anymore, if your voice carries no weight,
yeah,
people just roll their eyes when you talk. I think they lost the locker room. So I don't think Pelosi and Schumer and Schiff or any of those the one guy, what's the guy that got duped by the Chinese spy?
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
that schmuck. I think all of them have lost the room, and their voices don't matter anymore. I really believe that, and I think that this next 4 years, they're not going to be on him every day like they were the first four, and he's going to be able to really, really fix this country like better than ever, man. That's my hope anyway.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Don. And you know, I look at it and I go, there's so much stuff that's going on. And you know, okay, there's something I'm really excited about, but I mean, I don't want to talk about it just yet, but I'm excited about these freedom cities. The idea of these freedom cities. Okay. We'll talk about it in a minute if that's okay with you.
Yeah, I want to hear about
but-
freedom cities.
But I want to mention this, if you don't mind, first. Military.
Yeah.
Okay. The military is the strong arm of a country. If the military is not semi like uniform, like at least on the same side as each other people going to be like, yo, we might can go over here and do this. The military has had a lot of issues, especially when it comes to a lot of gender stuff that's happened. I don't think, in my opinion, Trump is, I'm actually a libertarian. Trump is probably the first libertarian president we've had.
Yeah.
He wants to give all the powers back to the state. You know, and I'm like, yo, bro, I'm excited. You know, and everybody's like, you're a Trumper. I'm like, yeah, kinda. Yo, I am, bro.
Yeah.
And, but he's like, he wants to deal with the federal government as oversight, right? But he doesn't want to get into the, I guess, the things that are important to each state, which I think is beautiful because each state is different. When you go across the United States, it's not that people are right or wrong. It's just they have different experiences and they deserve to be governed or elect a governor that is a public servant. And I think that's where politics, especially on the left, has gone awry. I think that's where they went haywire. You forgot Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Barack Obama. You forgot you're here to help the people like us.
Right, exactly.
Me and you should not be scared because somebody's in power that can take our job away because me and you are the wrong complexion.
Right, exactly.
And that should be reciprocated on the other side as well.
Right. I think people should be on the merits and on, you know, and if you're going for a job, you should be, you know, qualified for that job. And it shouldn't be solely based on your sex or religion or your gender. I mean, or your race. I think, you know, I just think the best person for the job should get the job. And we've seen that as well with DEI. A lot of people unqualified in big positions and everything falls apart.
Yeah.
And it's nothing. Look, to me, it's almost like setting those people up for failure in a way, because if you put, look, take me, put me in a job because, you know, whatever, let's just say, oh, we need a white guy. Let's put Don in there. And then all of a sudden I'm in a job I'm not qualified for. You just set me up for failure. You literally just threw me in the fire.
The next thing you know, you're in an African drum circle.
Yeah, I'm sitting there going, I have no rhythm.
Dang. Yeah.
I'm sitting there trying to dance along with them.
Everybody is awesome in the world, but you can't. I guess the thing is, you can't shortcut everything. Like, you know, I know there was some stuff with some pilots a while back that was happening. You know, if we were returned to a merit system, people wouldn't have these thoughts. Like, oh man, you know, if I saw you walk up to an African drum circle, I'd be like,
you're like, this guy's going to either be really good.
Yeah. There's only two choices, bro. You either gonna be the best one out there almost, or it's gonna be trash.
Right. Yeah. I had a really
There's no like mediocreness to it.
yeah, no, it's either I really am exceptional and I earned my spot like that, or I was placed there and I'm going to be really bad.
And and that's unfair to people that are applying for jobs. Really, it's really unfair. I think a merit system is probably the best place for us to go. And in order for us to do that, I think, they want to work on the Department of Education from a federal standpoint.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff that needs to be looked at, but
no, that can't happen. And I'm with you. I was a libertarian also. Just this year I switched over just because another middle finger,
Sure.
But I'm all about less government, less control over us. Let us, have our freedom to, live how we want to live.
But that feels like the Republican Party now.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
So,
because, like I said, with Trump being one of the most kind of liberal Republicans we've ever had.
He's very liberal as a Republican.
Yeah, yes, for sure. And that's the thing too. That's why. What do you think? All of a sudden, you got Tulsi and RFK, and how many other Democrats have left and went to support Trump? It's because I think there's been a shift in the parties where I think woke has taken over the Democratic Party, and Democrats have no home, so they the old school Democrats have no real home anymore, so they kind of found their way over to the Republicans side, which is nuts when you think about the superpower, like the group of people, including Elon, who was a Democrat. And you look at the
he was, man.
Yeah, dude, look at this super group that Trump has, bro. He's surrounded by amazing elites. Like, dude,
it's like the X-Men.
It is. It's like the X-Men, but it reminds me of the forefathers almost. Yeah. Like you got your Jefferson, you got your Benjamin Franklin, which Benjamin Franklin would be like Elon. He's Benjamin Franklin helped write the Declaration of Independence, but he's never really a politician. He never held office. I don't think he was just an inventor and all that. And so you got like the rebirth of George Washington and being Trump, and then Elon being Benjamin
Iron
Franklin.
Man, pretty much.
Yeah, dude, think about it, bro. And then you got Tulsi, who you could say she's like Adams or somebody, or so it's or Jefferson. So it's just nuts how he's got this group that's going to help to rebuild and like you said, it's like the Avengers meets the forefathers.
Yeah.
And I really feel we're in this amazing time period to be alive. Like I think this period that we're in right now, they're going to be talking about in history, like a major part of history forever. This is a major thing. And dude, we're right in the middle of it.
We're right in the middle of it. And, our videos and our talks with each other and all of our stuff, 100, 150 years from now, they may be used in classrooms to go, all right, guys, we don't need to go this far with stuff because,
Right. Exactly. But we're part of the uprising.
Yeah.
Because they say, the podcasts and social media and kind of freedoms of speech in this regard is what's taken down the media, mainstream media, bullshit. Because now, look, we I could speak for myself. I'm not the most educated person, but I'm going to tell you I'm going to give it to you straight. I'm going to give you my opinion on it. I have nobody's paying me, to say it their way. And you kind of get it straight opinions, and people who don't agree.
But every time I watch loads and loads and loads of your content, and I'm gonna tell you, it's honest.
Yeah, and that's all that we could be right now is honest. And if you're honest, with yourself, and we're having an honest conversation, me and you, with non-biased. We're just talking as we see it.
Yeah.
I think that goes a long way, and I think that's the difference in this new generation, this new time we're in now.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that 100%. And podcasting will end up overtaking legacy media by next election. And the one thing is, they said Barron Trump actually was a big
Factor.
influence on his dad. He was like, yo, you need to go on with Theo Vaughn and Joe Rogan and blah. And his dad was like, oh, but his dad's 77, 76, 77, something like that. He's probably not on the internet doing all that. Donald Trump, he's just rolling around, bro. He's like, where you want me at? I'm here.
Yeah.
Man, where you want me? I mean, he probably watches stuff, but Andrew Schultz on the Flagrant podcast
Yeah.
was like, he was like, hey, Andrew, and stuff. He said, but he ain't seen none of our stuff, bro. He ain't know where he was coming. And he just sits down and starts talking to you. He was like, yo, I could have been the most angry liberal. And he sat right in front of me.
Right. Yeah.
There's something to be said about that.
He's fearless.
That's American. That's no color. That's American, just pride, bro. That's something to be happy. And, there's some people that you just can't make happy, and they'll never understand that. So
nope, they'll never understand. They're always going to be angry, and that's another good thing too is that their voices are getting more and more limited because they hate everything right so much. So when like Elon took over Twitter, they all they hate it there, so they're going to leave Twitter, and then so they get so angry, and then you got all these celebrities that are supposedly leaving the country. So we'll see if that actually happens.
I hope it's one way. I hope it's one way ticket, bro.
Yeah, exactly. So we're cleaning it out, and then what I love too is that for all the diehard Christians out there who are like anti-abortion and all that, the left is doing them a favor when they're shaving their heads off and like, we're not going to have sex for 4 years.
They kind of are, man.
Yeah,
they are, man.
Yeah, so
they're not kind of are. They totally are.
Yeah, the Christians are like, okay, good. You're not going to have abortions. We win.
Yeah. If you're hardcore at that point, you're like, thank you. I've been trying to tell you that for years.
Exactly.
Exactly. So it's crazy. But but the crazy thing is if either party, if either party decided to go hardcore, no abortions, they would lose every election in the future.
Right. Exactly.
Despite where your viewpoint is on it, there has to be a middle ground.
And I think Trump found the middle ground.
He found a middle ground, man.
He gave it to the states, and for those of people who are pro choice and all that stuff, which is fine. I'm pro choice as well to a degree.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? But by giving it off to the states, the abortion rate actually increased. It didn't decrease. So for those of the ones, like we said earlier, the ones that use it as a form of birth control or whatever, have no fear. You could still get your abortion. It's still, depending on what state you live in, you could still get it. I think you can get it in every state, but I think it has different things. Like you can't get it in the third trimester or anything. I don't really know all the ins and outs on it, but I think
the issue with it is, I think what most people are thinking that are logical is like, we need to allow it, but you don't want it to go so far into the pregnancy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and on top of that, this is a very hard topic. And when you see people jumping around in the streets with signs, it doesn't do people that are, for that any favors.
It's a very touchy subject, like you said, and it offends people on both sides.
Yeah.
So if you're pro-life, then you're going to offend the pro-choice, and then the pro-choice and are going to offend the pro-life. But I also think too, one side seems to enjoy offending the other. Like remember when they would show up to churches with babies, like baby dolls, but bloodied up, and they would leave it on the church floor, and they would.
I mean, what are you guys trying to do there?
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, you're not the good guy. Like, I mean,
right.
Like you have to look at it as like the Democrat Party used to care about the average person,
and
now that's gone, bro. And you guys got overran by a bunch of psychos that's putting babies on tobacco sticks, holding them up and down outside of churches. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, bro, go home.
Right.
Like, go home, run into the wall. Do something else. And and then it's like, well, these people don't like me. Well, why are you getting directly in the path of these people?
Right.
You have a choice to not engage with these people.
It's like the FEMA, right? I'm not FEMA. What's the one who protects animals?
PETA.
PETA. It's like, okay, I respect PETA to a certain degree, what they've done for zoo animals, what they've done for the circus animals, and what they've done for some of the dog pounds and things like that, right? But they go about it all wrong when they show up to McDonald's with like a bloody chicken, and then they start all these drastic measures. It's like, dude, you had me. Now you lost me because
What do you want me to eat grass?
Yeah, because your antics are so.
You mean grass with this Big Mac sauce?
Is this a grass-fed cow, man? That's all I want. Nah, dude, but it's crazy times, but it's great times. I can't believe it. I still can't believe he won it, and the way he did it in such dramatic fashion. It's almost like, because you get so scared of when you've been conditioned to losing the last 4
Well, we
years.
took a lot of L's, man.
Yeah, man. So to win, and then it feels too good to be true. It's like, are they really done?
I mean, they're gonna come after him when he gets in. Because
We'll
you know
see.
why? Because you know why? They don't care what the people want. And I think that's very telling of that party. It's you do what we want, or like what you really need to be doing as a party is assessing the idea of you need to look in the mirror and go, oh, wow, I got ran over on that one. How could I do better next time? Here's how you do better, Democrat Party. Start looking after the average person. Quit making every white person feel like they're a Nazi and they're a racist. There's lots of stuff you guys can do. Instead of giving money to migrants, and I'm using that term because, I'm going to say illegals in January, but, quit giving migrants food cards and places to live. Like, quit doing these types of things. Quit having an open border where people are getting killed.
Right.
Like, and then they just act like it's not happening.
That's the thing. The gaslighting too. It was like a insult to your intelligence. It's like, no, I see that happening. No, you don't. No, but the gas prices are up. No, it's not.
Yep.
Yes, it is. I just got the food prices. No, it's not.
Mhm.
It's like, dude, I see it for myself. You're wrong. And that's that's another thing that turned people off. They're like being lied to so obviously, and they just have had it, bro. So it's just like they just lost on every level. They still don't get it. If you watch some of these shows, like you said, MSNBC, CNN, they still blame. It's the blame game. They have zero accountability for anything on their end. They blame, blame, blame. That's another thing I don't like is, hey, just say, hey, we fucked up. I look, we shouldn't have did this. We zigged when we should have zagged. We apologize. We're going to do better next time. That goes a longer way
It does.
than just saying,
If they were
Trump.
like, you know what? If they came out tomorrow and was like, dang, probably shouldn't have called all you guys garbage and Nazis. Hey, you know what? We're going to do everything we can. Donald Trump's got some good ideas, but you know what, guys? We might have some better ideas that can help you guys out. People would be like this. First off, people would be like,
Yes.
okay, because nobody expects that, so, but they're unable to do that. They're incapable of, if you watch the Trump campaign versus Kamala Harris campaign, Trump campaign told you what they want to do. They got people like RFK in here that wants to make food healthier.
Clean it up. Yeah.
You've got Vivek Ramaswamy who wants to rehouse a lot of the federal funding, figure out what's going on with that. I mean, they got JD Vance.
Dream team, man.
I mean, Tulsi Gabbard that, talking about the, IVFs, the in vitro fertilization stuff.
They just gave her.
Trump attacked every topic. And you know what's crazy? All Kamala Harris did was, I'm not Donald Trump. Yo, bro, what are you doing? You're laughing like a Joker. Okay, like it's crazy.
Yeah, that was her whole entire campaign was that I'm a middle class. I was born a middle class girl, and I'm not Donald Trump. And
Small business.
she just was not a good politician. She was awful at it, not good at any of it. And to me, that was another piece of the chess game that Biden played when he got cooed. He just said, "All right, I'm gonna." He kind of endorsed Kamala out of the gates to the point where they couldn't not do it, and they were like, "Shit, we're stuck with Kamala." And then he led them to failure.
Biden's chess player, bro.
Yeah, man, Biden, real politician, and my enemy's enemy is my friend. So in that case, I was like, kind of loving everything he was doing at that
Yeah, me
point.
too.
When he came out,
He knew what he was doing with that mega hat.
yeah, dude, he put on the freaking mega hat. His wife wears red to the polls. Are you kidding me?
Trump won and you know it. Trump won and you know it.
We're in a crazy time, my friend, and yeah, like you said, we talked to me and you a couple weeks ago, saying we got to do this more often. Me and you got to get on.
Absolutely.
We
Absolutely.
definitely should do this at least once or one every other month or something like that, and kind of get together and go over the topics.
You let me know, brother. You let me know, man. I'd love to have you on mine too one of these days, man.
For sure, dude. You say the word, I'm there, bro. And then yeah, and also everybody, it's Nick's Kick Charity at gmail.com. Nick's Kick Charity at gmail.com. I'll put it up on the lower third as well so you could see it. But Nick's Kick Charity at gmail.com. He is it's the Nick's Kick season 3. Him and his mom, Sheila Driver, are working on a project for getting shoes to kids. So tell me a little bit about that before I let you go, bro.
Sure. Okay, so about 3 years ago, I started just this little outreach here in Zebulon. And the first year I think I did 4 pairs of shoes. The second year I think we did 8. This is our 3rd year, so we're gonna try to do 12, if possible. But if it's less than that, that's okay. Whatever, long as we put shoes on kids' feet, we're doing good.
Right.
It's an independent push. It's really an outreach for kids in this area. And when I was growing up out here, there's a lot of times I would go to school and I grew up in it depended on what year it was, as opposed to where we were low income or middle. It just depended. It depended. And that's how close we were to the line. I learned a lot throughout my life and stuff. And it's just us trying to give back and trying to go, hey, sometimes kids go to school and you know what? They ain't got shoes on that's comfortable for them. That shouldn't be a problem. We're living in America. We should have a situation where a child can go to school and actually wear a pair of shoes, to where if little kids are mean as crap, right? People shouldn't be making fun of kids' shoes. And that's what we're looking at. And we also want them to have a nice pair of shoes that they can play basketball in. They can walk around outside. We try to give them quality shoes, and that's just our little contribution on this side of the corner of the planet. So
no, that's awesome, dude. And I love what you're doing. And so are you looking for shoes? Or are you looking for donations, or how?
I know we are. We're looking for if any kids, or if you have a child that actually needs shoes, you hit us up with that email, or you contact me via inbox, and we'll get you a pair of shoes for your child.
Wow, that's awesome.
Hey Don, that's how we roll over here, bro.
That's how you roll in Zebulon, man.
That's how we roll. You know what? You know why, Don? Because here's the thing, man. We love everybody over here, man.
Right on, brother.
So
excellent. Nick's Kicks, everybody. Check it out. Help him out. Nick's Kicks Charity at gmail.com. Nick Driver, always a pleasure, my friend. You rock. We got to definitely do this more often. I'll be in touch with you again soon. And if you need me on yours, just say the word, brother. I'm there.
Yo, Don, I'm going to tell you something. I had a pleasure talking to you. maybe next week or the week after, you can come on mine and we can talk about freedom cities. What you think?
Oh yeah, we got to get into freedom cities.
Let's do it. We'll do that. We'll do that. We'll do that on mine.
All right. Let's do it, man.
All right,
you rock.
brother.
Nick Driver,
Hey, Don, thank
everybody.
you for having me, brother.
Thank you, my friend. You rock, dude.